Good evening, KDPS listeners. This is Taylor Rasmussen with your solo week show. So, a lot of free agency talk in the NFL lately. But I'm gonna, as I've made completely obvious on this show, I am going to put my Minnesota Vikings spin on everything in the news. So, without further ado, let's go. Percy Harvin was recently traded to Seattle. That hurts in itself because having another Vikings player go to Seattle to not do anything. So, with the exception of Sidney Rice. So, but that's okay. The Percy Harvin trade is okay because ultimately I think the Vikings organization has a plan. I think they have a plan to build a core of young players that are going to be around when the new stadium opens in 2016. So, and I have faith in that plan. So, I think that's. I really don't know what else to say. So, so next up we got going 155 by Pop Evil on the Edge 88.1. Alright, that was Audio Video Disco by the Justics, and this is DJ T Ras with my next segment on Solo Week, or on Switch Week. So, Iowa basketball, and Josh before me, my colleague on the air before me, that goes on the air before me, talked about this a bit. But, I really think that Iowa, gosh, they're kind of like the Vikings, only in the sense that I had no idea the Vikings would make the playoffs. So I really think that the Iowa Hawkeyes could be that team that just surprises me. So they're up to 72nd, I believe, in the RPI, and they've appeared back on Joe Lunardi's bubble. So I don't know. I think that they might surprise me. But coming up next, we got Little Talks of Monsters and Men on the Edge 88.1. All right, that was Don't Stop the Party, one of my personal favorite songs by Pitbull. You gotta love Pitbull, man. I mean, he says a couple things that you don't necessarily understand all the time, like darling or whatever. I don't understand why he says that, but you gotta love the guy's choice of music. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So, but speaking of Pitbull, my favorite radio show of all time, Mike and Mike in the Morning, was just this morning talking about Pitbull and how essentially Greeny, if you watch Mike and Mike in the Morning, the host Mike Greenberg loves Pitbull. And he's like, and they went off with, it wasn't Golick, so it went off with some lady about how Greeny loves Pitbull. So, on Pitbull's command, let's not stop the party, and here comes Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO on the Edge 88.1. Alright, that was Promises in Love by Bright Giant. Next up we got... I want to really talk about Sporting Kansas City. I mean, as a soccer fan, as an MLS fan, you don't find very many of those, first of all. And then I think that if MLS could get a tenth of the support and media that the English Premier League does on ESPN, I would be a very happy man. Because, yeah, MLS has its own issues, but doesn't. What league doesn't? You know. So, and then last summer I went to a Sporting Kansas City game with my roommates, and it was so much fun. I just loved the atmosphere of what is now known as Sporting Park. Used to be Livestrong Sporting Park, but they, changed the name, but that's for another time. So, next up we got Walking the Past by Hem on the Edge 88.1. Alright, Des Moines, this is DJ T Rass, and I'm signing off for the week on Switch Week. But first I wanted to tell about my personal spring break plans. I have the honor and privilege of joining my friends down in the Dominican Republic, my friends at church, on a Dominican Republic mission trip. I honestly don't know what to expect, because I've never been on a mission trip with this church before, or have I ever been to the Dominican Republic. So I don't know. I mean, I did have a chance to go to Costa Rica last May, and I love everything about that country. So from the fact that they played soccer everywhere, from the fact that the people were much more friendly, and just the beaches and I could go on and on, but I won't. So I'm DJ T Rass, and I'm signing off for the week. Everybody out there, make it a great rest of the week. This is The Edge 88.1 KDPS.